Good afternoon everybody and welcome back to the Stamps by Me studio. My name's Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush and I'm here with a demonstration for you this afternoon. Do subscribe to the channel, you will get notifications of all my videos, and Tony's obviously from Stamps by Me, Carly from Imala and Simon from Avago Ink. So today I'm going to do a Thirsty Brush design that we released a month or so ago. We've got the lovely fuchsia spray here. So I'm going to use this in a different way and overlay over like a vellum window hopefully. So I've got the dies here that go with it as well. But first of all, before we do any stamping and colouring or anything like that, I want to show you how to make the, oh gosh, nearly dropped everything, the vellum window in your card blank. So if you watched Sundays, you'll know that my dog was going absolutely wild in the background. So today I've keeping him quiet. I've put a massive bowl of food here for him. So he's just had a huge bowl of food and now he's giving himself a little bath and hopefully will drop off to sleep. So what I've got here is a 6x6 card blank. I'm not going to fold it, I'm going to leave it flat. And I've got one of the outer dies from our square background dies, the quilting, and what was the other one? Oh, the lots of kisses, the little crosses on. So I'm going to kind of make a window or an aperture directly into this card blank here. So I'm just going to grab some tape to tape that down. So I'm going to centralise it as much as possible. I'm not measuring, I must admit, but you know, just to the eye. You could measure it if you want to. And then I'm going to pop that. Now it's going to hang over the edge. Can you see my plate there for the machine is not as long as this, but that's fine as long as the piece that's going to be cutting is on the mat and it's not wider so it can still fit through. Doesn't matter that this bit hangs over at all. So I'm just going to pop that through. So noisy, aren't they, some of these electronic ones? Somebody can make a silent one, that would be really good. And of course, don't throw this square away that you've cut out of your aperture. You can use that as a mat and layer or make a topper for another card. So now when I fold my card on the score line, it's already there. So I've got this huge big aperture on there. Now what I've also done is cut a piece of vellum, and this is going to go underneath. So our card front is actually going to be like a window type, similar kind of technique that we did for there was a stained glass window card, but obviously this is just a huge aperture. So what you could do, obviously I'm going to glue that around the edge, but if you wanted to hide that glue as well, you could cut another piece with another square out of it and hide that on the back, or you could have it just plain like that, but obviously you're not going to get that light shining through the vellum. But if you cut out another square and you can use that. What I would say is don't make it quite as wide. Take it just a millimetre or two shorter. I think I might have done it with this one. Just to make sure that you can still close your card easy and it's not adding to any bulk. Right then. So first of all, before we do anything with the fuchsia spray, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the middle of this. I feel like that's got a mark on it there. I might cut another one. Just give me a second. Okay, so I've just cut another piece there. I don't know what that was. on that one, but because I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment, in case that was damp or greasy in any way, I didn't want to risk it, embossing powder sticking to it all. So I'm going to put the sentiment just slightly off centre in this, and I'm just going to stick to one that's out of this lovely set, because there's some really nice, really like the mix of fonts there. You've got some scripty, but this really kind of almost handwritten capitals one I really, really like. So let's do Hoping for Your Day Blooms with Happiness. I'm thinking about my card when I put it together. I'm going to have some flowers come from this direction. So like I say, slightly off centre. And I can make sure then that it's still visible with all the flowers. So plenty of anti-static, particularly on vellum, because like we saw with that other dirty piece, it picks up marks from God knows where. And then I've got my Luminosity sticky ink. And today I'm going to use the Silver Lining of our Luminosity powders. We use a ton of the gold, and it is everybody's favourite, mine included. But the silver is amazing too, and I think it's about just getting your colours right with it. And it kind of goes in trends sometimes, doesn't it? Gold and silver. Most people have just a general favourite anyway, but then things kind of come and go where gold is more popular, silver, and then of course we've got rose gold these days, haven't we, in metallics. So I think it's always good to have gold and silver in your stash. Because then either whether it's you're making a card for somebody and it's their favourite, and it sets so quickly on the vellum. How quick is that? Really, really beautiful. So that's that bit done out the way, and we've got our aperture done. So next on to the fuchsia spray. So just grab my Eureka again. I'm going to do 2 lots of the large. I'm going to do one heat embossed in the silver again to tie in with the sentiment, and another one just stamped in black. And I'll show you why when we put it all together. My squeaky Enid always says, I need to do something with that, don't I? I wonder why it squeaks. Is it the little pins in the hinges, maybe? Hi Enid, if you're watching. But yeah, she always says, God, that would drive me mad. I never really noticed. Maybe I'm weird with sounds. I never really noticed it. So same process as we did with the sentiment, sticky ink, just go twice so we can make sure all of that lovely hand-drawn detail is there. And if you got this one when it was released in, was it November or was it end of October? This year it's just so weird, isn't it? I can't feel like like half of it's gone quick, but at the same time it feels like it's really dragged on too. Very strange. Let's hope 2021 is better now. Okay, silver again. So it always looks that kind of dull grey until you heat set it, and then all the shine pops out. Just a bit. We've got that lovely shine there again. I love the way fuchsia's kind of dangle, do you? And there's so many different colour variants out there. I'm going to try a slightly different one today. So I've done lots with like the classic different shades of pink or pinks and purples. I saw one around the corner from me with it's like a pink and a cream, so I'm going to give that a bash. So second piece of card, I took the stamp off. I'm going to do in black. I'm thinking I might layer this one, still colour it up, and then layer it behind the vellum to give almost like a shadowed frosty kind of look. Now, I have no idea how that's going to turn out. If it's rubbish, we'll just stick to the one on the front. I thought it would be a nice idea to try anyway. See whether it works. And then if we get that really good image with it, with one frosted behind the vellum and then the embossed one with all the colour on the top, then it maybe can be a technique that you can try at home with other types of stamps as well. Right then, I'm going to cut these out on a snap with the dies before I do any colouring. Just going to set that a second. Otherwise I tend to find the ink comes off on my plates. Doesn't always do, it tends to depend on how shiny or smooth the card is, to be honest. These need a bit of a sort, don't they? I think when they've been in my bag, going to Create and Craft, they've all slipped. That's the one I'm after. So pick the one that just does a 1mm round, but you have got other ones to do the smaller single leaves if you wanted to either layer them or build a design. That one through. Just get my paints out ready for colouring. I see lots of you have been trying some of the watercolour advent, which is amazing that you've given them a go, because some of them aren't easy. I've tried to do a bit of a mix of different subjects and different skill levels, you know, so you've got some Christmassy things, some florals, some scenes, that kind of thing, and then yeah, some that anybody could try, just a very simplistic thing, say like the little Christmas tree card, the first one, or what would be one of the others? Oh, there's one with a striped card, I think it says hello friend, which gets you mixing, but just doing simple stripes, but gets you mixing different shades. There's a couple like that that are really like super beginner ones. There's plenty of intermediate, and then there's some that are more advanced that I must admit I haven't done perfectly either, but because it was, yes, of course, about giving you guys some lovely videos to watch and hopefully some inspiration to give it a go, but I really did want to just genuinely improve my own skills as well. And I think just doing, I know I always say about practice and, you know, doing little and often, but doing it daily. I did consider at one point doing multiple per day and kind of getting ahead with them and then just scheduling them out, but I've ended up doing pretty much on the day, and it's been a really nice start to the day for me, where I can, you know and sit down and record that for like half hour or so, and then obviously there's all the editing and stuff like that, so it takes a few hours in total, but just have that real relaxation time and see the growth as well in my own work. So I know if that's making me feel like that, then it absolutely will do with you guys as well. And it's something I think that you see quicker growth with than with card making and things like that, because I think as much as we love making cards, there's so many different techniques you have to put into it together, and one card can actually take quite a long time if it's quite detailed. Whereas I find the painting, it's so quick, satisfying. You know, you can do, some of them have only taken 10 minutes to do from start to finish, some of the more simplistic ones. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and let's get some paint on. So I've just got my water and my palette. I want a little bit of purple. I feel like that's the right kind of vibe. So this isn't about a painting lesson here. This is just about putting on some colour. So I do my usual thing where I'll put some colour at the top of a petal and then just kind of clean off my brush and drag it out further down the petal to give the illusion of shade, where you've got slightly darker where the petal comes out of the bud. But like slight, it's not, again, this is not about a painting lesson here. This is about just getting some colour on those petals. And the one that sits behind, even less so in terms of skill or accuracy, because you're just going to hopefully get a hint of it rather than see all the detail. This is not watercolour card. Like I say, I tend not to use too much of that for you in the card making. Sometimes if it really, really needs it, but I know most of you just got, you know, every card maker's got just some kind of plain white card, so try and stick to that, so you know that you can still achieve a decent painted look without having kind of specialist things. So then, yeah, what did I say? Like a creamy colour. It just kind of sits. And whether that's too peachy. It's almost like a pale yellow, really. Just going to try and lift some of that off. If your colour isn't quite right, get a bit of kitchen roll or something. That's better. It is more like a pale yellow. You see I've done the colours slightly brighter on the one that's going to sit behind the vellum, and that's on purpose, so like I say, when you see the colour shine through, it's not completely washed out. And some leaves. Oh, I haven't done the little tops of the buds there in the purple. In this one, I can go back and do that. So that one is starker. And then I think it looks softer on this one anyway, not just so that the colours are lighter, but because you haven't got the black outline, you've got it in the silver. I just think it softens the whole thing. And I know when you give cards like this with watercolouring and embossing to people who don't make cards, like they genuinely don't know how you've done it. So that's the embossed one. And then we've got the black one, black stamped one. I like both. I just think it's, I know we're going to put both in a card here. But you know, you can see how you can use these in different ways. So let's have a look now at how we're going to put this together. Not sure if we're going to need something else on it, you know. But we shall see. Put your glue either on the vellum or on the card, and then put the vellum on, whichever way around. Doesn't really matter. Oh, I'm stupid, aren't I? I've put the glue in the wrong bit, but that's fine. We can put another frame to hide our workings. So let's quickly do that. I could do it as central as possible, but I can always trim it down a bit if it's not quite in the right place. Glue absolutely everywhere now because I didn't mess that up. I think it's coming off. Yeah. Right, so that's the front. This is another frame to go inside and hide that messy glueness sticking down the vellum, but like I say, I want to use these fuchsias behind. So yeah, my idea was to have that. Oh, so that's still a bit wet. Oh God, I'm cocking this up, aren't I? That one's nice and dry. So yeah, I fancy having that one. Behind. And then this one sit on the front like that. Lovely. So I think I'm just going to need a tiny bit of glue on this one. Just to hold that in place. And then the frame. Oh, I did a pretty good job of guessing there, that, because I didn't measure. It fits pretty well. And then personally, if I got a bit of extra time, what I would do now is to get that all to sit really flat, because you've got like 3 elements there. Well, 1, 2, 4 really. So although it's not much bulk, I would just prefer to kind of sit with it, with something heavy over it, just for 10-15 minutes or something like that, just to get all that really kind of, make sure the glue is set really flat. But obviously we haven't got time for that now, so that's no worries. And then let's layer this one over. We can have, I'm trying to hide the bits of glue where it can sit on top of a flower or a leaf underneath, so even from the inside then hopefully we won't have too many glue marks. It's a bit fiddly, I suppose. And let's just grab some scissors so I can trim. Okay, so that's the main elements of the card there. You've got the vellum and you've got the 2 different fuchsias there. I think if you've got that on a mantelpiece or something, you've got some light shining through, that's going to look really, really pretty. So just to finish off, just gonna, I feel that there's a little bit too much white space, but I don't want to kind of overload it with things. I'm just going to add a few sequins. So I've got some little mint green kind of ones here. I'm just going to pop sporadic few. Of the larger ones out of this pot. Let's do a couple more. To go in 5s or 7s with sequins. So just an extra little bit of sparkle. Great. Now I hope that's given you some ideas to try with either your fuchsias, or you could do loads of different types of flowers there with that technique of layering on the vellum aperture, or you could do different size or shape aperture would be really nice. But just having one behind stamped in the black and slightly bolder colour, and then one in front gives you that beautiful sheer soft finish. Okay guys, I will see you on Sunday for Sunday Chill at 1 PM. Again, another Thirsty Brush demo, and as I say, do check out the watercolour videos on my channel, Claire Manning Craft. In the meantime, But until then, you take care of yourselves. Have a lovely end of the week and last weekend before Christmas, and I will see you Sunday. Bye.